Hey everybody, Rodman here. Thanks for tuning in to the Philosopher King, a RimWorld royalty series about being a benevolent ruler in a benevolent society. One governed by these rules and goals and projects that I've been given. So, picking up where we left off, we have 119 tribals to our west, preparing a while to attack us. I think the obvious approach to a fight like this is to use a doomsday launcher. Maybe while we all queue up shells at the same time. That was my thought. Yes, I could use an anti-grain, but during the defense of the Stellarch, I might want those anti-grains. So the idea here would be to take a look at my characters here. Probably Philosopher is going to be our runner because he's a fast walker and also has a bionic leg. Where everybody else gets ready for yeah. All right. So here's how I'll just set this up. I'm gonna deal with this pretty much immediately. So first things first, I'm going to tell all of these mortars to hold fire. I'm going to put some shooters on the mortars. I'm going to stop what they're doing. All of my animals are now grazing. I'm going to schedule everybody here to safe, which means someone like Yanshui, who is currently hauling out of the base, is going to get inside. Let's make sure that safe actually represents what it's supposed to, and it does. Good. Okay, so that is step one. Step two, Philosopher. You are going to be conscripted and given a doomsday launcher. What's going to happen here is Bubbaloo and Philosopher are going to hit them at the same time the mortars are going to hit them. It's going to be chaos, but I think it will be very efficient chaos. Okay. So we've got HE shells in every single one of these mortars, as you can see. And they are standing by, ready to shell. Now, this cluster is obviously, well, they are going to attack us the moment they can. So the idea here is to use invisibility and maybe Berserker Pulse to make it so that they don't immediately engage Philosopher. So we are going to start to head towards them. Now they have, at the best, they have Great Bows, which has a range of 30, and Philosopher has a Doomsday Launcher with a range of 36. So there is a case of the fact that they won't be able to shoot us from distance, but I don't want to risk that necessarily. Just waiting. Another thing that you could do to spice this up a bit is transport pod shells into the pile here, but I don't think that's necessary. Okay, so all of that is all squared and set. Now, let me proceed a little slower. Cast of visibility. Take a shot. Ideally, I want to be targeting terrain rather than an individual, but an individual is fine, I guess. Release, hold fire, force target. Make sure that Bubbaloo can skip Philosopher out of there. There we go. Invisibility, of course, won't last very long. Just a few more seconds. Philosopher is now going to head back to his minigun. And we're done. sort of more or less as I hoped and predicted. So let's immediately take everybody off of Bloodlust. Faustupia, you just hang out here. I want all of my mortar crew coming out here as well. Yes, that was a very quick process. The Doomsday Launcher, of course, did the bulk of the work. Alright, so the mortar crew's coming out here to try to capture those that survived. Let's see. Right now, actually, Talon, if you could come, I could use your Chaos Skip or Water Skip. Well, Blue is trying to rescue them, but we're having to risk the fire here. Now, I'm coming to rescue for several different reasons. One, because it's the benevolent thing to do to help those in need, even if they were just trying to murder us. Two, because it might give us a chance to befriend these tribals, which would be good. Alright, Talon, we actually, truth be told, don't need you. But what we're going to need to do is patch them up very, very quickly. Because I suspect that some will, they will be queued to die almost immediately on the hospital bed here. Alright, Faustupia, you should grab your minigun again. And the larger of the two crises has been averted. The crisis of the massive raid. Okay, so we did lose one to blood loss as I looked away for but a moment. I think that even in a ideal situation, we weren't going to be able to save that one. It seems like the moment that Poppy put that one onto the bed there, they expired. Can't go any faster than that. Alright, Zero, just let's cremate the one that we lost. So you can see I wasn't really punished for it or anything. And then let's reduce resistance in all of them using our social skill. This, of course, because we have a single door between them and the outside world, this does mean that their chance of a jailbreak is, it's up there. And the healthier they get, the more likely they are to break. Okay, so the other thing here is if I do a quick health check of my pets, most of the pets here do not have, they don't have any sort of toxic buildup, which means, oh, Hajuka got sick though, which means that I'll be able to have them haul some of the corpses for me. Yes, having these prisoners absolutely going to stress my food supplies. That I am sure of. I'm going to set them up for simple meals, because that's what I'm going to be able to afford. And then these simple meals here are going to be made of vegetarian products only, and it's unsuspended. Because I have a lot more vegetables than I do meat. Okay. Medical emergency Barracuda. Barracuda, you're okay. So here we go. Now the animals here are, my pets are hauling away corpses for us to cremate. Wow, Pujuka, you are getting very, very infected. Let's clean up the room a little bit. It's a clean room now. And Felstupia will treat you. The idea here is to, of course, not recruit any of them. I haven't even really looked at them. A few of them would be okay recruits, like Barracuda here. Iron Whale Jogger is, with a lot of passions, would be strong. But, of course, we're not here to Stockholm Syndrome and indoctrinate them. Just release them. Alright, so I do have to keep an eye on my pets to make sure they don't have a significant toxic buildup, because I am having them haul for me. We are continuing to mine up some steel so that we can build this bad boy up here. And some more infections. That no way surprises me. Barracuda. We're tending to you. Now, if they were in this clean hospital and in hospital beds, their infection chance would go down. But I'm not willing to, you know, at this point, the damage has been done. I don't think moving them would be all that helpful. You know, they're as infected as they're going to be. Alright, let's have Mathis cremate some. And this last geothermal generator, ooh, a limestone masterwork. This last geothermal generator should be enough to put our power into the positives without having to turn off benches and the like. We are starting to get rice again. That's good from our grow lights. I don't know how long the... Wow, this ambrosia zone is not what it used to be. It's probably going to fully die off, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I would expect it to. I have to do probably consistent health checks as well to make sure that I don't have any toxic buildup on any of my colonists here. No one's pushing past initial, which is good. This zone is basically gone. And I suspect it will all die off. All of the beautiful ambrosia. Yeah, this zone has been decimated as well. Whoa! Holy moly, that's a lot of, Yeah, I mean, 119 of them. I suspect, yeah, there would be a lot of corpses. Whoa! Okay, so this guy's addicted to 3 things. Slykite, ambrosia, and, alcohol. Yikes. And you're a body purist? I know that body purist isn't, teetotaler, but, like, that's kind of funny to me. Alright, most of them can't really move. They're still unconscious. Alright, let's continue to cremate so that we can clean all this up, because, of course, they're rotting. And that is a big old mood debuff. Seeing rotting corpses. Unless, of course, you have bloodlust. It is the only counteracting trait in RimWorld that makes it so that seeing corpses doesn't bother you. Evernath, complaining as always. Yep, here we go. See, rotten corpses. But using the pets to haul the corpses allows us to spare our colonists from having to see that. Says toxic fallout has lasted a week. Just a little reminder about the quests. Threat pods is one that we were never really going to accept. A legendary shield belt sounds great, but you know it's kind of brutal. And then Bubbaloo was supposed to go to Elikos, and probably still will. I think what I'll do is have Virus and Philosopher, Shay, and Bubbaloo head there. Maybe right now, before I forget. So let's queue up 3 pods. Bubbaloo, Shay, and Philosopher. They're mostly just caravan guards to make sure that he's okay. We will bring some lavish meals and a whole host of fine, simple meals. I'm sure. Well, the risk here is they rot, but I'll take that risk. All right. So we're supposed to bring 14 of the finest tribal wear. 7, 8, 9, 13, 14. I'm also going to bring with me some of the bows, because we're going to pod there. Oop, not that. We're going to pod there, which means we don't have to carry anything, and bring some statues, just so that we could do a little bit of trading while we're there. I forgot bedrolls. Oh well. They're just going to have to rough it. Sorry, Bubbaloo. I don't want to repack the pods. Alright. So yes, roofing up the geothermals do cause a fair bit of heat. But since we're almost never in there... Whoa, K0. You are good. You are good. Quit mining. All the animals here were hauling corpses and the like, and well, as you might have been able to see, there was a bit of a backlog of the steel here. Seems to be plenty of it. Okay, so now we're launching. We're going to visit Elikos. There was an electrical fault. Alright. And fulfill trade order. Quest completed. A unique offer. This one was for the sensitizer, reader, and plasteel. Alright. Let's go ahead and trade. Bubbaloo is here, which means that they will trade with me. Mass chaos skip. Okay, well, that brings us just about even. I guess they don't want any of our other stuff we brought. I forgot that, of course, these guys are royals and they're very fussy about what they buy. So if I enter Plato, it's one day as the crow flies. Yeah, let's make that trip, rather than to stop by Antalya or anywhere else. Okay, so that power shortage was real bad because we already had a sort of somewhat failing power grid where we weren't quite generating enough power, and then with that happening, it put us into a brownout situation. So we'll do our best to try to conserve. What we need to do is just to get this stupid geothermal Jenny built. Are we out of... No, we are not out of granite. They're just not working on it. Alright, so Chris is finishing up the geothermal generator. We do have a medical emergency. It is what? Exactly. Barracuda's probably just infection extreme. He'll be fine though. Chara, I am going to give you a peg leg. And then I'm going to let you go once you're done recovering from the anesthesia. As the zones shrink, I'll just repaint them consistently. Okay, so the geothermal generator is almost done. The sickening green hue still hanging around, and then most of the weapons are have been put away. There aren't any other legless people here, so we're okay on that front. Hay grass died from rotting. Yeah, this is because it hasn't been harvested or can't grow. All right, Mathis is doing the surgery, and that will be one less prisoner. Zero is finishing the geothermal generator, and as you can see, our batteries are already starting to bounce back because I powered down a lot of the benches that were not in use, but I do want to put them back. All right, so we've got the peg leg in you, and then once Chara is fully recovered from the anesthesia, we'll release, rather than have them wander dangerously. Okay, Chris should be finishing off the, yep, there it is. And we have some Erebum. I have no idea why they would want to visit me in this weather condition, but hey, welcome, I suppose. Okay. Let's turn on some of these benches again, allowing Zero to finish the crafting that I had cranked up. Char is no longer incapable of walking, but is still woozy, so we'll leave it. Alright, animal hauling should not include... the animal hauling zones... There we go. Yeah, the animal haulers shouldn't go into these rooms. They really don't need to. And a lot of these animals here are just wandering. So if they're just wandering, it's time to put them back into grazing. There is still some stuff out that way that could be delivered. What are you viewing? Oh, you're viewing art. Okay. And Bubbaloo, Faustopia, Shay, and Briss are now home. Oh, Pukesberry. You poor... demented fox. Now, something I said that I intend to do again is, in the case that I don't end up needing the heal mech serums when I'm about to board the Stellark's ship, I will use it to help whatever pets I have that still require, attention. Okay, so the additional geothermal generator puts me into a category of having plenty of power. All right, prisoner, release. And Chara, yeah, you're pretty much ready to be released as well. So I'm going to spare myself these simple meals and go ahead and do that as well. Okay, there's 1 and 2. Now, as you might have noticed, I am not getting any reputation because Toxo here is sort of hostile no matter what. But we're not releasing them for relationship. We're just releasing them because of benevolence. Right? It's the proper way to treat a prisoner of war. And the rest of these guys Should be healed up in a day or two. We actually might be, truth be told, we might be growing rice faster than ever now. Given all of our additional grow zones. But I'm quite happy that I decided that this spot should be heal root. Because, you know, I couldn't have predicted, but basically we immediately had high use for it. So what I'm going to do is the remaining prisoners I have, I'm going to put them into hospital beds so they recover faster. So I can, you know, kick them out, essentially. It's kind of a mean way to say it, but I want to release them. I want to release prisoners. All right, so we have a ton of bows, as you can see. Oh, and then Mass Chaos Skip, which Talon can learn. We bought that. So these bows, let's go ahead and I guess there's still more over here for us to load in, but I'm gonna launch a pod of some gifts for some ally. I'm not sure which ally. Just whom, probably Antalya, because relationships. Okay. It's not much. We'll have to do. Unfortunately, it seems to me that the Talon, have you been... Oh, somehow you've not been... He must not have been praying at the tree automatically. Quest available. A legendary LMG, a masterwork harp, and uranium, or warheads. For a bunch of knee spikes. Okay, so the warheads would be very, very handy for the in-game raids. So 7 knee spikes. I could do that. They're steel and components. It's a lot of components, actually. I'm going to have to grind out some components here. Who makes components? So I'm going to allow components by any worker. And I'm going to copy this so that we can have multiple components in queue at once. And that means that Poppy and Shay might be able to help out with the component queue. Because those knee spikes will require pretty considerable components. Taking a look at my relationships. Rego of the Lake. Actually, let's move the needle with Rego of the Lake. So, give the gift. Wow, they barely care. It is kind of junk. It's a little bit of leather and some garbage weapons. I understand why they don't much care. Alright, so the only issue with this knee spike is that I don't have a ton of steel. So I'm going to put 0 back on mining, and then everybody else is... everybody else in the community, like Poppy and Shay, will help to supplement the components. Wouldn't hurt to maybe call in a bulk goods trader, something akin to that. So let's do that. Airbum, trade caravan, bulk goods. Buy some steel, sell some art. I don't know, something along those lines. Oh, there's another masterwork. I'm just trying to... Oh, and these guys are all set to be released. making the hospital just a little bit nicer with this masterwork art. But I think if a trade opportunity rolls by, I'll probably end up selling them. Alright, I am going to administer beer, ambrosia, and psychite tea to Hajuka, because Hajuka's barely conscious given all of the withdrawals. The Royal Tribute Collector's coming in. Alright, Hajuka, it's time for you to leave quickly. So he's no longer incapable of walking, but we'll just keep... Oh, no, already released. Hajuka was in too much of a withdrawal to be conscious, which is pretty crazy. Too many drugs. Okay, so the worst of the toxic fallout is over. This means that I can uninstall these sun lamps. These sun lamps weren't all that expensive, so I'm going to probably leave them intact. But what I want to do now is remove the roof over... Let's go with fertile. Remove the roof over everywhere where I could be growing food for my pets. All the animals will be able to haul again. So this remove roof is going to take a bit of time because it was a pretty sizable swath of the base that I had to roof off. And then once the roof has been removed, I can disassemble some of the columns. What I think I'm going to do is only remove the roof off of the farmland, leaving the rest of my grand gables, you know, the roofs intact, because I don't necessarily need to remove them, especially if they're lit. That just means that snow can't accumulate, you know, stuff like that. So, time to see the sun again. Pretty soon, the animals will start to return to this zone too. Let's see. Yep, there's already a little bit of wildlife. So there's really nothing for me to do as far as the Royal Tribute Collector. And I'm going to accept this for Antigrain Warheads. Trade with Welsh. I haven't checked where Welsh is. Ooh, it's kind of far. That's okay. It is what it is. Okay, so once we see that the farmland has been de-roofed, I will queue up the larger farmland. As you can see here, I'm just hunting everything. So let's take a look if... Okay, so this ambrosia did not really survive. One plant left. And here is 2 plants. Empire Spirit is leaving. And a singular plant. I guess in this case, at least it allows me to finish off the floors that I had set out to do long ago, but then was stopped because of the ambrosia growth. As you can see, the anima, grass, and tree was immune to the toxic fallout, mostly because there'd be nothing that you could really do about it. You can't roof off a tree. So, yep. And an Imperial trader is flying overhead. Alright, we can make use of this. Hello, Imperial trader. You have components. I'll albeit just a few. You also have advanced components, but they're priced a little rough. You can have my old prestige armor, and all of these lovely statues. I'm going to tell my guys to haul on the masterwork of art. And then Bubbloo, let's get trading again. Alright, that looks good. Now we're still working on adding components, but soon I'm going to have 0 transition from mining to knee spikes. The additional anti-grain warheads will be very, very useful. My constructors are systematically removing roof in a way that won't crush them. That's, I guess, sort of the important part, because you could easily crush yourself. This whole zone is almost all removed. I guess I need to remove there too. They're just one little last swath around the column. Now with all the added power that I have, a combat supplier flying overhead. Well, I haven't even uninstalled the beacons, so what I'm going to do is continue to illuminate so that we don't have to work in the dark. Alright, here we go. Wooden club. And all these bows that I'm surprised they even want to buy. And a statue. The only thing I'd be interested in buying from them would be Doomsday Launcher or something akin to that, because we, of course, used one of our 2 up. But as far as I could tell, they don't have anything. So we're almost ready to remove the columns. And I'm going to start allowing to sew. So this zone here is going to be deleted. I'm going to forced harvest everything in there. And it's August. It's pretty late in the season for a fruitful crop harvest. So I think what I'll probably do is grow more rice, because rice grows fast in this terrain. Alright, so let's not worry about here. Let's worry about down there. I doubt that I'll be able to whoa. Have you not removed the roof? Oh, okay. There's nothing close enough to here to hold up the roof. That's fine. Build a column there. I was going to say, I doubt I'll be able to get a double strand harvest out of here. But once they're done sowing the rice fields, I'll attempt it. I just doubt that it will yield anything. All right, bulk goods trader. Thank you for showing up on such short notice. So they did have a bunch of components, which is great. Now I just have to figure out... And they also have steel that I'm going to buy as well. I can part with some of my beer. If I have to mine up some gold, I can always mine up gold. I'm going to take every last silver that I can from this trade. So the purchasing of components and of steel just helps the knee spike production. Looks like wildlife is starting to return. If I am to hunt the boomlopes, it should be done now when there's just not a lot of flammable plants out there. And we'll make it easier to hunt them than later on where there's a lot to catch fire. I do have some dark spots still. Maybe I'll aim to illuminate a little bit better. You move around slower in the dark. You have a bit of a mood debuff as well, so. Alright, this is a nasty job, but someone's got to do it. Removing all the corpse bile. Okay, doing a fair bit of hunting. And it looks like some alpaca rolled in, so we'll hunt them as well. At this point, I could put everybody back on fine meals. Maybe a new food restriction. And royal meals will just be lavish. Sort that out. Okay, so we're almost done sowing this farm field. The shaking of the world signifies that the boomlopes were definitely just called. And Faustupia is throwing a bit of a party. I can get behind that. Beer and tea. I have all but one of the knee spikes, so we're pretty close on that requirement. It did critically hit our component supply, but that's why I bought some. I like how the party's spilling over into the crafting room. And let's go from party to throne speech. So we've got just a 13.5% chance of a bad speech here. I like my odds, but Bablu sometimes oh, it actually went up. Did he drop a level of social? No, I don't think he did. We also have an exotic goods trader flying overhead, so we'll hook these up again as soon as we're done. I feel like these animals are trying to listen in onto the speech through the marble walls. It really did look like that, didn't it? So it's an encouraging speech. That is encouraging. And Bubbaloo, instead of rest, you are the man to trade, so let's get those beacons installed and check out the exotics. Good. Buy some more components to help out our crafters. Blinding Pulse, Neurotrainer and Crafting. Actually, maybe 2 Blinding Pulses. And, yeah, that'll work. Amino enhancer? Sure. Oh, he already knows Blinding Pulse. Whoopsie. That's okay. Talon can learn one of them. The Amino enhancer, I'm going to give 0 here. In the right kidney. So our mood should be going up. We had the party +8 and a encouraging speech well +4, so an extra 12. Plus we released some prisoners, so we can feel good about that. Guys, that is about all the time I have. Now, I did mention that right around the corner here, I think will be the Stellark protection missions. And I'm eager for that. If you have any tips, tricks, feedback for me about that, or about this episode, or the series in general, do let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you all next episode, friends. Farewell.